Unit 3 Vlog. Cotton was what was mostly grown in the South. Because of its value, northern cotton traders and southern plantation owners were able to become rich off of it. Because of the wealth of the southern plantation owners, they were in control of the southern politics, while the whites without slaves had to try and compete with them. The treatment of slaves was different depending on the plantation that they were at. The slave population was growing because of natural reproduction. At this time, women were starting to create their own abolition movements. So that they could settle in California and Texas. Despite the possibility of starvation, people were still eager to try and settle in the new land. More and more people were moving west, which meant expansion, which brought wars over territories, such as the Mexican War. When the West expanded, it brought in new territories, which caused the issue of slavery and whether it was legal or not in the new territories. The idea of popular sovereignty was popular among the people, but the federal government wanted to make sure that they had control over slavery and kept it only in the South. Sectional tensions were growing, and the gold rush was only making things worse. Disunion was on the horizon of America's future. America was on the path to destruction of itself. Congress was having problems with what to do. Tensions were rising, and the North and South were always fighting. A slave revolt was even being tried by a radical named John Brown, trying to get the masters overthrown by their slaves. Politicians were at a loss of what to do, until Abraham Lincoln came with ideas that were against what the South wanted. They then seceded from the United States of America to the Confederate States of America. At the time of secession of the South from the North, the South had an unstable economy based mostly on the farming of cotton, with very little manufacturing. The North, unlike the South, had more manufacturing as well as more soldiers. Because of what it lacked economically, the South was trying to get France and Britain to side with them. Commerce raiders were one thing the South had a chance with, as they were attacking the Union commerce offshore. In the first couple of years, the North would have too many losses for them to continue their original thinking of the war to be an easy one. The South soldiers were not all in their proper uniform. Many didn't have shoes or uniforms that weren't ragged looking. Even though they were not properly dressed, they still won lots of battles under the command of Stonewall Jackson. Towards the end of the war, the North started to win battles and would eventually go on to win the war by out-manufacturing the South as well as outnumbering them. After the Civil War, the South was destroyed, Their economy had collapsed, and the little bit of manufacturing they had was even weaker. Their transportation system was broken. The South was now always covered in Northern soldiers, and the used-to-be slaves had taken over the plantations that they had once worked at. The North's industry was almost untouched as a result of most of the battles taking place in the South. The Freedmen's Bureau helped the newly freed slaves get an education and tried to become part of the new society. The women still tried to get voting rights, unsuccessfully. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth, and Andrew Johnson became the new